Hello, good evening, everybody. It is the end of February 2025 already. Very scary thought. And I've been covering the subject of heart health this last couple of weeks because February is known as Heart Health Month. And we'll worry about what happens next month after next week. But we've really been focusing on the part of inflammation because with heart health, there's so many things that one can cover, like a fibrillation or murmurs of the heart or heart attacks. There's so many things. So we've been focusing on inflammation being one of the bigger causes of heart disease. And heart disease can take many forms. And I haven't really gone into that because it's too big a subject to cover right now. But we started off just explaining exactly what the inflammation was. And then the last couple of weeks, we've covered what foods you need to look at and what activities you need to look at. And then we've been covering some supplements. And we finished off last week with the supplement called CoQ10. And in my opinion, if you are above the age of 50 or you have been on medication, specifically chronic medication, or you are an athlete in extreme sports, you need to be on CoQ10. And trust me, it makes a huge difference to your heart rate, as well as your general stamina and fitness levels. So let me share my screen over here. And hide these people. So we said February was Heart Health Month, and we were working out what makes your heart tick. And the supplement we're going to start with this week is my other favorite, apart from CoQ10, but Salmon Oil Plus. And it's long been known and proven that the omega-3 fatty acids play a critical role in the human diet. In particular, two omega-3 fatty acids found in fish oil, namely EPA and DHA, have been very well researched. Today, the latest scientific research not only continues to validate the important roles of EPA and DHA in human health, but it has also shown that there's a whole family of omega-3 fatty acids, a total of 8, in fact, which contribute to optimal human nutrition. This critically important chain of dietary omega-3 fatty acids starts with ALA, which is known as alpha-linolenic acid, and ends with DHA, which is your docosahexaenoic acid. Don't worry about the big names. Taking 6 important steps along the way. Each is now known to have its own unique biochemistry and supporting synergistic role in human omega-3 nutrition. Dietary guidelines for many nations around the world, including those from the United States Department of Agriculture and Food, based dietary guidelines for South Africans suggest that all adults eat 2 to 3 servings of fish each week for optimal health. And not just fish, but oily fish. Now, think back over the last week. How many servings of oily fish have you had? We're talking salmon, tuna, not from what comes from a can, but fresh tuna, sardines, mackerel. I know I haven't had any of those in my diet. Unfortunately, the problem for many adults is that they eat very little fish on a consistent basis and rarely meet this important nutritional need. Has anybody checked the cost of fish recently? It's actually quite scary. Large portions of the population go without getting any broad-spectrum omega-3 supplementation for weeks, sometimes months. Not to mention the fact that much of the fish supply is suspect due to environmental contamination. I know there are certain harbors in the country where there are strict warnings: do not eat any fish caught in the harbor because the water is so toxic and full of all sorts of runoff from the cities, from the rain, from the ships, from the oil and the diesel and everything that's sitting over there, the fish themselves are actually toxic. Pregnant women who have the highest dietary needs for omega-3 fatty acids, ironically, are instructed to limit their fish intake to 1 serving per week due to contamination risk, usually the heavy metals. Currently, there are no formal guidelines for the amount of omega-3 fatty acids that children should consume. However, the USDA recommends 85 to 225 grams of seafood, which include your fatty fish, such as salmon, tuna, and mackerel, which are rich in omega-3s, per week, depending on the child's age. So anybody who's had kids, how many fish have you fed your kids recently? Meeting these recommendations for intakes of omega-3 rich fish per week will equate to approximately 250 to 500 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids per day. Despite the importance of omega-3 fatty acids for children, few are getting enough servings of fish in their diet. And research in South Africa found that children in general are eating higher amounts of saturated fats and insufficient amounts of polyunsaturated fats, particularly the omega-3 rich sources. So this is true even in coastal communities who have greater access to fish, potentially rich in important omega-3 fats. And I would say it depends very much where you catch your fish as well. Again, if it's a harbor area, not a good idea. If it's below the outflow of a river that is known to contain a lot of contaminants, we have one particular river not too far away from me that runs past a squatter camp. And that squatter camp of a couple of thousand people has one operational toilet. I will let your imagination do the maths. And particularly when it rains, like it's doing at the moment, last week we had over 135 moles in 24 hours. And they're predicting a similar amount tonight. So when we have that much rain and it runs off, pardon me, it runs into the river, which runs into the sea, and then flows south. And if you're catching fish directly south of that river mouth, just after floods like we're having at the moment, I would not suggest eating that fish. And also, if you look at the sea off our coast at the moment, because of all the huge amounts of rain we've been having, specifically inland, the sea is a dirty brown color for a good couple of 100 meters out to sea from the shore. And I don't think that is very good if you're eating fish that's caught right there. If you go out into the deeper sea and you fish from a boat, might be a better idea. In the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, fish constitutes the lowest source of kilojoules in the family diet. Now, Neolife solves the problem of inadequate omega-3 fatty acid intake with Salmon Oil Plus. And not only that, but it provides a complete omega-3 profile of salmon oil with all 8 members of the omega-3 fatty acid family, assuring a complete omega-3 supplementation in every dose. So why do we need to supplement with this stuff? Fatty fish is the richest source of healthful omega-3 fatty acids, but most of us do not eat the 2 to 3 servings per week that experts recommend for optimal health. The noise in the background. Supplementation has been proven to be an effective means of increasing dietary omega-3 fatty acids. And the omega-3 support optimal function of body tissues and organs, notably the heart, blood vessels, brain, nerves, eyes, skin, and joints. I listened to one talk where it was a doctor that was speaking, and he said, if I had to give you the benefits, all the benefits of omega-3, you would probably accuse me of being a snake oil salesman. because it is so important and so vital in so many areas. And we don't even get a quarter of what we should be getting. Omega-3 is crucial to the development of infant brain and eyes and are naturally present in mother's milk. So omega-3 is present in most things, in plant sources, animal sources, as well as fish. But it differs in the amount and potency of where you get it from. Now, this is why it is so important for young moms to be supplementing with omega-3 from before conception right the way through. They can probably stop about a week before birth, just to help to lower the risk of bleeding, whether it's a Caesar or whether it's natural birth. Omega-3 does make your platelets less sticky, so it doesn't thin the blood as such, but it does make it flow easier. And during birth, obviously things get a little bit messy and you can end up with a bit of a problem over there. So directly after birth, it is a good idea to then get back on to that omega-3. Infants whose mothers consume foods rich in omega-3 have higher omega-3 levels compared to those whose mothers do not consume. And the omega-3 fatty acids may slow the aging of the brain. Older adults who supplement their diets with EPA and DHA have demonstrated greater cognitive function when compared to those who don't. So when people complain about pregnancy brain or being scatterbrained, here's something to offer them. But they do need to take it consistently to see any good results. People who do not like fish can get the omega-3 fatty acids they need for optimal health from fish oil supplements. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't like the fish oil supplements either because they complain about the fishy aftertaste. And one just little tip that I've picked up along the way is that if you are taking it in supplement form, keep your bottle of omega-3s in your fridge. I've found, especially here in KZN, where it is so hot and humid, that the gel capsule gets all soggy. You swallow it, and it tends to dissolve in your lower throat area, and then you do end up with your fishy echo. Whereas if you keep it in the fridge, it dissolves lower down in the gut, and I know I haven't noticed any issues as a result. Some people do still end up with problems, but that's for another debate another day. Just a suggestion there is have it with a meal or have it last thing at night before you go to sleep, because you probably then won't have that aftertaste. So this is one of the solutions. We've got two ranges of tablets. One is called Salmon Oil Plus, and the other is Omega-3 Salmon Oil Plus. Both options are based on pure salmon oil, providing all the benefits of one of nature's richest sources of omega-3. The products include ultra-high potency omega-3 fatty acids, which is an exclusive near-life technology that boosts, stabilizes, and standardizes specific health-promoting omega-3 fatty acid levels while maintaining the whole food goodness of nature's salmon oil. They are the first supplements of their kind to assure a standardized amount of all 8 members of the omega-3 family involved in human nutrition. Ingredients in the formulations are derived by molecular differentiation, which is leading-edge technology that selects specific nutrient molecules from tuna, sardines, and anchovies while eliminating or reducing others, delivering unsurpassed potency, purity, and consistency. The products are safe with no risk of accumulated toxins. Only the finest, top-quality, health-screened, disease-free fish selected for human consumption are used, and these fish are wild caught, not farmed. All sources are screened for more than 200 potential known contaminants with an allowable detection limit of 0. Salmon oil plus potency is guaranteed to deliver 460 milligrams of EPA, 480 milligrams of DHA, 50 milligrams of DPA, and 80 milligrams of mixed omega-3 fatty acids with every 3 capsule serving. The salmon oil plus potency is guaranteed. This is now the small ones, the tiny little pearl ones. So in other words, the children's version. That's guaranteed to deliver 153 milligrams of EPA, 160 milligrams of DHA, 16.8 milligrams of DPA, and 26.6 milligrams of mixed omega-3 fatty acids with every 2 capsule serving, simply because they are designed for children, not adults. And there is no hidden vitamins A or D. Now, the last thing for heart health is vitamin E. And this is a fat-soluble vitamin composed of a group of compounds, not just a single one. There are 8 primary compounds that make up the vitamin E family, and they're broken down into 2 groups, namely the tocopherols and the tocotrienols. Don't try and memorize these names. They're quite fun and they make you sound clever, but you really don't need to know them because it's all written on the bottle anyway, and in our book. And this vitamin E family of nutrients, namely the alpha, beta, delta, and gamma tocopherols, and the same in tocotrienols, are an important group of antioxidants and a factor in the maintenance of good health. And if you speak to pretty much any cardiologist, almost all of them will recommend vitamin E. So why do we need this? It acts as an antioxidant and it contributes to the protection of cells from oxidative stress. Remember, we said oxidation was the human form of rust. As an essential nutrient, it is a factor in the maintenance of good health. So why this particular type? It features the entire vitamin E family from whole food sources, and each capsule of a 200 IU provides the entire family of tocopherols and tocotrienols, not just the alpha tocopherol like most products have. And not only that, these things are found in balanced ratios, just exactly as they occur in natural foods. They are a rich complex of food-based vitamin E in a base of soybean oil. It provides nature's own vitamin E that is more potent than synthetic forms. And when people say, oh, but I take a natural vitamin E already, ask them to try and do some research on their particular company as to where they get their natural vitamin E. Because scarily enough, and I had to Google this to confirm it, but a lot of natural vitamin E's are derived from crude oil, which I'm sure we could argue is a natural product. However, I don't know how many people want to put diesel and petrol into their body. Their car maybe, but not their body. So natural isn't always natural. The 200 IU potency, or these 200 international units of potency in a soft gelatin capsule. Now some special notes over here. Consumers of vitamin E products most often raise questions as to price and quality, because obviously a synthetic vitamin E is going to be significantly cheaper than ours. And a single source of vitamin E is also going to be significantly cheaper than a full spectrum of all 8 is going to be. Consider this discussion to help your customer understand the vitamin E difference. The raw materials used in vitamin E products vary greatly in their degree of processing and ingredients used in the processing. The resulting vitamin E substance correspondingly will vary in its concentration level and the presence of other E tocopherols. Since the government recognizes only the alpha tocopherol form, this is what is measured to identify the potency of the product, in this particular case, 200 IU or international units. However, research indicates that the alpha tocopherol is not the only tocopherol valuable for optimal well-being. Rather, vitamin E could better be described as an E complex, since several tocopherols provide benefits. For this reason, Neolife offers an E complex product. A second important concept in explaining price and quality is the difference between natural and synthetic forms of vitamin E. There is a definite difference between synthetic forms of the alpha tocopherol. Analysis shows the synthetic to be levorotary or left-handed molecule, while the natural is dextrorotary or right-handed. Don't worry about the fancy terminology, but if you look at the bottle of a vitamin E, and it will say in there alpha tocopherol, or it should say that, you will see there's a little chemical signature normally before it. So it'll say D alpha tocopherol or DL alpha tocopherol. The way to remember this, if you're not too sure which is which, L, or leave it on the shelf, because that is the synthetic version. And this is described as D-alpha tocopherol, while the synthetic is DL alpha tocopherol, as I was saying. And this is extremely important since the human body is as much as 5 times more efficient in utilizing the D-alpha tocopherol. Because this is such a technical and confusing issue, encourage your customer to experience the Neolife difference and to rely on Neolife's commitment to product quality and excellence. And that is going to be the end of that. And my suggestion, if anybody is questioning whether they can trust the Neolife products or not, offer to do a 15-minute health talk with them. If you don't want to do it yourself, I am more than happy to jump on a Zoom call with you to do a health talk. I've got it in a PowerPoint form. So whoever is watching this as a recording, if you would like to know what to look for in a supplement, what to look for in general health and nutrition products, please contact the person who shared this with you and ask them to do a 15-minute talk with you to explain those differences. I'm more than happy to help anybody who's wanting help with that. Does anybody have any comments or questions before I stop the recording?